Good afternoon, friends and traders. Welcome to the Market Recap. I'm Dan Hodgman. It is Monday, June 7th. I hope you guys all had a great day, and I hope you all had a spectacular weekend. I sure did. We were in the 90s here in southeastern Wisconsin, and we had a fun little Top Step get-together. We had a little camping session with the team from Top Step, so it was really exciting and had a lot of fun. So I hope you guys all were able to get out, have some fun. The weather was nice where you're at. I know where we're at. We're looking at some nice weather for the next week or so. We're supposed to get a little bit of rain today, but we kept the blinds open so you could kind of see sunny and 85 degrees outside. I know I'll be getting out there this afternoon trying to enjoy the tail end of the sun and the tail end of the day. And you know what? Sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need to get the heck away, get outside, enjoy a little Mother Nature. So hopefully you guys were able to do some of that this weekend and have some opportunities throughout the week to do that as well. Markets, well, nothing crazy to talk about today, truthfully. Relatively quiet. We're coming off of last Friday's unemployment numbers. We saw that kind of all over the place with the markets on that one. But nonetheless, we had some nice rallies in the equities, which they were looking for. You saw gold moving higher. You saw treasuries move higher. You saw the euro move higher. Everything really just took off to the upside on Friday. Now today, you got crude oil staying inside. Kind of broke right off the open from settlement price towards an overnight low. Similarly, S&P 500 did the exact same thing. Broke off a settlement price right down to overnight low. Funny how that works. A couple of things that we talk about a lot. Then you got the Nasdaq. Now that was the tougher trade, break off settlement price, because it touched and ran down. And it didn't make it to the overnight lows. Instead, it kind of got choppy for most of the day. And then all of a sudden this afternoon, it finds a little bit of life. We blew through Friday's high. And that market's continuing up. 14,000 is in its sights. And I don't know about you guys. I want to bring it back to the single-digit thousands, not for any other reason other than saying it. Right now, we're trading 13,807 half. I'm really getting sick of the 13,000. I'd rather just say like 9,007 half. But hey, not a bad thing seeing equity markets move higher. Hopefully, all of our long-term portfolios are looking nice there. You got gold, beautiful, trending rally all day, slow and steady. Gave us opportunities to get in on that trend. It moved nicely. That market continued all day long, where the euro opened up. We got the rally off the open. Moved through settlement price. Settlement kind of held it up for a little bit off the open. Started to go. Once it went, it continued higher until about 10:30 this morning, and then from there just stalled. So if you were able to get the long, or you were able to find a chance, we had a couple pullbacks in there. If you're able to find that chance, you may have been able to ride that trade out until the tail end. You could have still been in this and been in a very comfortable spot catching the long. Lastly, you've got the 10-year note. I'll show you the chart on it. There's nothing to say. It floated between about 3 ticks for majority of today. Really, in my opinion, that's not tradable. We want a little bit more of a range than that. But a little hungover, I guess you could say, from Friday's big jobs number rally. All right, so other things going on. As you see in the title, the Fed is in this early stages, kind of continuing this talk about tapering assets. At least to prepare the market. We got to start thinking about that. They're going to start to prepare that, because right now it has $120 billion in monthly asset purchases to help stimulate the economy, keep things moving forward. The Fed was buying about $100 billion every month. But right now they're talking about, hey, the world's getting back to normal. We got to stop spending. Let's reel it in a little bit. So this will be a interesting conversation that's going to be had for a little while, but we'll start to probably see the markets preparing for this one. So that's one that's going to be a long-term headline we want to pay attention to. I'll say hello to everyone, and we'll take a look at these charts. I got to see my screen here. All right, Brian, Bill, Tanya, good to see you. Greg, Mike, Prophet, Joshua, good to see you. Norman, Sheboygan. I spend a little time up that way every single year, getting up to good old Kohler, Wisconsin. Play Whistling Straits, one of my favorite golf courses in the whole world. Great area there, Norman. All right, let's go ahead, take a look at these charts and see what we got going on here today. As always, we're starting with our crude oil. Like I said, crude oil stayed inside. We had settlement price. I did not have time to get our settlement prices on, but I will relay them. We had settlement price up here at 69.62. Market opened up, pressed to settlement price. We saw it testing waters at Friday's value area high, a couple cents above settlement price. To me, if we're not looking for an opportunity as the market's approaching both settles, almost Friday's high, not totally Friday's high. Friday's high was up here at 69.76. Market opened up last night. We had that little pop. We tested again, but we got rejected really quick. Now, this is where we have to be fast as traders. We have to be quick to look for the opportunity. And where's that opportunity leading us? Well, we have a couple things down below that's catching our attention. We got point of control from Friday, 69.44. Now, it's 18 cents in profit off of settlement price. Is that really something we're looking for a trade? Personally, no. 18 cents is not doing it for me. I need more targets down below. Then you're starting to get my attention as we're approaching Friday's value area low. If we're in at 62, we just made a high. We're going to start to look up above at some other highs. I don't think I'm running all the way to 70. I think we saw quick and fast rejection the second it tested Friday's value area high. So that's exactly where I'm going to start to look. I'm starting to look for a stop. If I make a new high, I'm out of that trade, and I'm running this thing down to start right at value area low from Friday. We got some area also down below, down at 93, overnight low. We did not make it there just quite. We missed it by a few cents, but nothing too crazy. So good opportunity, in my opinion, for a quick trade here. Again, 18 cents is not going to do it for me. I need a little bit bigger target because I want to be able to handle a little bit of price action, a little bit of price movement when taking one of these trades. Again, now we have summer coming. We want to be thinking about that. Markets are going to be slowing down, potentially. What are some of the things we want to look forward to? We want to be thinking about summer changes. So be prepared. If these ranges start to tighten up, how are you going to approach them? We're seeing VIX is dipping, economy's opening. We had a wild year and a half. Things might start to slow down a little bit. So we have to mentally start to prepare for that and how we're going to trade around it. Next, let's go over here at the Nasdaq or the S&P 500. S&P settled up at 42.28 quarter. 42.28 quarter. Market opened up right at it. In the overnight session, right? That pre-market open or pre-open market here, we checked. Friday's value area high rejected quickly. Now, call me crazy, but this is setting up beautifully for me. We rejected already Friday's value area high. We checked the high side of that range. Now I'm going to be a little patient, waiting for this market to open up before I jump in and do anything. Market opens up right at settlement price, and from there the break is on. Beautiful move, extending all of Friday's range, and this market went a little bit more, but that's the target I'm looking at down below. Friday's value area low. If we can trade markets inside, they're so defined for us for great opportunity. You can run it right to Friday's value area low, and we came just shy, about a handle away from the overnight low. So we had two beautiful targets down below to look for some opportunity. Next, let's look at the Nasdaq. Like I said, Nasdaq has found some steam here to end the day, but opened up and it was extremely choppy. We had settlement price up above at 13,766 half, 13,766 half. So right here is settlement price. Reopened up just shy of it. Market broke down pretty darn quickly. And here's what I was looking at really is all I saw. We did not have a chance of making it to the swing low. It showed us that pretty quickly. Every time this market tested lower, it was rejected pretty quickly. As you can see, price was holding higher. We held value area today. It's 13,740. So we can start to say maybe the short side is not going to be profitable. We are seeing constant rejection. So what's the next likely chance? Well, I might start thinking that where's that long opportunity? We're not holding lows. Maybe there's a long opportunity to possibly run it to settlement price, possibly run it to Friday's value area or point of control up here at 66, 65, right by settlement price. Both two great little targets up above. We can maybe look for a chance as this market is trading right around Friday's value area low. We watch that reaction. This is where you have to be extremely discretionary. You're watching it, making sure it's not continuously making new lows. And if so, that's that quick, again, just like crude oil, that quick opportunity to execute the trade. All right, next, we got gold. And if gold isn't setting up as just a beautiful trend day, cannot argue that one bit. We began the trend in the overnight. It tried to move through Friday's value area low and had no chance whatsoever. Constant rejection. So if we're missing that initial long, here's where we can start to look for something. Where we set up for pullbacks. Trend is our friend. That's the stuff that we're thinking about. Well, off the equity open, we had a little bit of a pullback here. You saw in the equity open, both equities that we looked at broke pretty quickly. I think Dow ended the day down as well. So we know that these things are selling off a little bit. In theory, the fundamental says if equities are down, look for gold to move higher. Not 100%, but definitely something that we're always keeping in the back of our mind. We opened up. It gave us a chance, broke down just slightly right around settlement price of 1892 even. 1892 even. This market broke right down. And to me, there's a great chance to possibly catch the long and move with the trend. And to me, if I'm looking here for a target, my target is Friday's value area high. We obviously moved through that by about $4. So really a good directional day here in the gold market. Next, let's go ahead and look at the euro. And like I said, euro opened up. Great pop to the upside. It set us up just like gold. Struggled to accept lower. If prices are accepting lower, look for market to move higher. Pretty simple idea there, right? We opened up. Market really took off pretty quickly. And here's where I'm going to start to be hesitant. I'm looking at Friday's value area high. We struggled to get through it. We pulled back a little bit. I'm sure there were a lot of shorts that got eaten up here. And I'll be honest with you, if I'm looking at this, I'm probably thinking short before I'm thinking long. I know historically Euro likes to stay inside. I would have been stopped out. That's okay. We all get stopped out sometimes. Market blew through and extended higher until about 10:30 this morning. And this is what I was saying. This is where you had your chance if you were long to really be told, get the heck out of the trade. It fell into an extremely tight little range here. Could lead to an interesting opportunity overnight session. And then lastly, like I said, 10-year note really wasn't anything to bat an eye at. I mean, I don't see a trade here. I mean, unless you're trying to pick up a tick, risking 1-to-1, I don't know. Doesn't work for me. This was not very tradable today. Maybe we'll get some more opportunity throughout the week in this market. So, those are our markets here today. Tanya, I took the trade from settlement. I call it the Dan. Way to go. Everyone always is asking, what's a simple strategy? What's a strategy I can apply? Well, that's one of the most simple strategies we can apply, or simple trades we can look at. If market's opening up at settlement price, look for a move away. If it's opening up away from settlement price, look for a move too. It's not 100%. It's not 75%. But it's got good probability. And if we're in an area, and this is the key, if you're in an area that you can manage the risk, right? We can open up. I think we looked at one last week. We opened up. I think maybe it was crude oil. We opened up about 30 or 40 cents away from settlement price, but the only point of invalidation was about 30 or 40 cents away. So our risk was, let's just say it was 40 cents. Our risk is 40 cents. Our profit's 40 cents. So we're risking 400 to make 400. Not typically the trade that I'm going to look for. That's a lot of risk to make that kind of money. So those are things you always want to be thinking about. It's a simple setup. It's a simple strategy. I know a lot of guys that's all they do is look for some sort of opening trade to or away from settlement price. It leads to some good opportunity. But again, it's all about how you manage that risk. We can all take the same trade, but we can all have a different outcome strictly based on how we look at the markets and how we manage our risk. Vlad, good to see you. Seems like today's meme was meme stocks and some biotech. I do like the biotech. That one has me pretty heavy in some other aspects. Prince Zakai's Traders Global, good to see you as well. And Vlad, hello. All right, what else do we have going on here today? Like we touched on, we kind of touched on our news. Nothing major happening. There was this weekend a major Bitcoin conference that took place down in Miami, Florida. I have a friend that was down there. I'm going to get some information this weekend, and I'll report back on how all that went. That one was, I'm excited to learn more about that. Rates really unchanged today. We saw quiet day in the treasuries, but you got the VIX. The VIX is continuing this quiet, steady. Of course, if my VIX chart froze here, I don't want to say broke, but we're seeing the VIX continue to sink, to move lower. Volatility is decreasing. Again, I talked about it just a moment ago, preparing for ranges to tighten. If VIX is as quiet as it's showing, we got to be prepared for all of these things to start to slow down. If the VIX is down, ranges tend to be down. We got to be prepared for that. So summer is here. Let's keep that one in mind. You got GameStop, though, continuing higher and higher and higher. We're almost back to that $350 mark. We're trading $280 today. Unfreaking real, to say the least. Huge moves there. Tesla got a little life today. That one's up above 600. We're trading 605 there. Airbnb. We're back to break even on our Airbnb, trading $148. And then our Bitcoin, I minimize that chart. Let me just pull it back up here. Our Bitcoin, we're still slightly in the money on this one. Maybe I'll get some insight this weekend. But we're trading $35,565 in Bitcoin. And then tomorrow, International Trading Goods and Services will be tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Central Time. And then you'll have JOLTS at 9 a.m. Central Time. Other than that, pretty quiet day tomorrow. Red Book will be at 7:55. Always something worth looking into, seeing if there's any good information coming out of that one. I don't read the whole thing. I look for some bullet points. And then the big one we're going to keep our eyes on. Thursday, CPI, inflation. What's going to happen there? That'll be the big question. And let's see here. That's majority of what we got on today. Actually, we got to take a look over at AMC, see how that one's doing. $55. $55 a share over at AMC. All right, former Vice President Joe Biden, El Salvador, Guatemala looking at making Bitcoin a partial reserve currency. Pretty amazing times. No doubt. Kevin, I'm sure Bitcoin will break below 30,000. Then we should see low 20s. It's going to be an interesting call there. I don't really have a huge opinion on it. I think China's saying what they did, kind of banning any sort of trade on it, hurts it tremendously. But you know what? It had a huge rally. It's got to have that relief. It attracts new buyers if it wants to continue up. Eventually, they're going to run out. And we've kind of seen that with a lot of this crypto. It brought in a lot of attention. It brought in a lot of buyers. A lot of people that came in and said, hey, I've got a couple $100. I'm going to try get in on this Bitcoin. Dogecoin was a prime example of it. I don't even know where Dogecoin is at. Let's take a look. Dogecoin is about 35 cents a coin, whereas, let's see, it was high of like 70 cents. About 70 cents was the high, so some areas still down below where Dogecoin could go if we're looking at strictly technicals. But I think, we had the initial excitement, a little bit of a sell-off. Maybe the sell-off will attract more interest. We'll get more people back into it. Maybe we'll see these numbers run back up. All right, and lastly, this date in history, and we'll get the heck on out of here. The first one, this is pretty cool. I've always been so intrigued by mountain climbers and those guys climbing Everest, and I find it just so interesting and so intriguing, and I love following the stories. If you haven't really followed some of these mountaineers and climbers. I recommend it. They are incredible athletes. And on this day, June 7th, 1913, Hudson Stuck was the first ever successful ascent of Denali up in Alaska, a.k.a. formerly known as Mount McKinley, which is the highest point on the American continent, 20,000 feet, 20,320 feet. Pretty incredible. 1913, he climbed that mountain. And he wasn't young either. He was 50 years old. It's amazing. And then I think I had one more. Yes. 1893 was the first time Gandhi ever made his name for all the great work that he did. 1893 as just a young lawyer working in South Africa. So, I did have one more. I thought this one was fun. 1962, Switzerland welcomed the first ever drive-through bank. 1962. Found that interesting. Found it kind of fun. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to sign it out. But make sure you guys join us tomorrow for Coach's Playbook. We are going to talk about summer trading, things to keep our eyes on coming this summer. There's a lot going to happen, and so I'm looking forward to that. It'll be the original 4 of us. And then the following week, Carol will be back, and we'll be talking Fed. We'll be talking FOMC. We'll be talking some of that stuff and what could happen with that as well. So couple good weeks of Coach's Playbook ahead of us. And so John will be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Time with the market forecast. So until then, stay safe, wash your hands, trade smart, and trade well. I look forward to seeing you guys in the markets. Take care.